Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's daily brief recap. I always like to draw that out, make sure YouTube's doing its thing. And it is awesome. So we had our 24-hour flash raffle yesterday, which was a lot of fun. And wow, I can't believe how many people have actually watched and signed up. So that's cool. Maybe we're actually getting some traction in this world, Kevin. Man, this is good. This is good. Um, and we had a raffle, and Tomas Danielle Vida. I don't know whether that's your full name, your screen name, or your pen name, but regardless, you won. Congratulations! Yay! Da, 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 da. I think Kevin's gonna send you off a note. I think he said he'll do that. I think probably the best thing for you to do, Tomas, is worst case scenario, just hop on the site and do that 30-day trial kind of thing. Once you're in the lounge, go, hey, I'm the winner. I'm the winner. Give me my school stuff, right? And then at least you're on the inside of the site, and we can work with you there. And Sjord will just sort of take care of you on the back end. All right. I'm just going to leave that one out there. I'm not going to touch that. So with regard to market, actually with regard to the site, Sjord said that something crashed over the weekend. So I guess it was the middle of last week. So that's why the engine was down. He's in the process of fixing it. So he did tell us, he gives us a Monday update, which was yesterday, that we should have the signaling system up and running by today or tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. And ironically enough, that image you see on your screen, sort of a flash view of a week or two ago, probably is pretty apt now. And it sure would be cool to show you guys day by day by day the breadth indicators and the bullish percentage index, because I'll tell you, it's a secret weapon that I think TRI is going to really rock the world with this. But anyway, just a tease right now. Heading on over to the little matrix that I like to use talking to you guys. Let's see, how do you describe this? I've been kind of like trying to forewarn, if you will. It's probably not the best word, but just when tax deadline approaches, it's actually interesting how the various different countries are kind of out of sync right now. So you don't really see a massive one shot, just everybody right across the bow. We did start to see a little bit of weakness in Canada because our tax deadline was the 30th. And of course, I had to cut a fairly substantial check to dear leaders here in Canada. I would imagine that the exact same thing is going on in the United States right now and probably will continue at least for the next week or so. I don't see any reason why that would stop. As well, too, we kind of have like a triumvirate of actually dangerous situation here. Kevin, you want to go look over at the YouTube feed and the chat room there? Somebody seems to be here that's not supposed to be here. I don't know whether you can see that or not. I don't know how that happens.
I can. I don't know. I have no idea how they would know about it.
Oh, you cheeky bug. You're not supposed to be here, but thank you for saying hello. I won't name names. Anyway, so tax deadline's looming, but we got kind of a nasty situation here for the market and risk assets. So we've got, in my opinion, you can't really ask for lower interest rates. So lower interest rates are a huge sort of cost of doing business. Well, short-term interest rates, borrowing costs. So if there was the ability to lower interest rates going forward, well, that in itself would be a supportive element for the market. But how do you go lower than zero? And unfortunately, it's justifiable in the fiat currency system that a fiat currency pair trading against the US dollar could take their currency negative interest rates on the short term because they are ultimately using the US as the ultimate backstop. And the problem in this fiat currency world is how does the backstop go negative? And frankly speaking, I don't think it can. It's impossible. If US interest rates do go negative, the whole system breaks. Um, I also think too we went through a massive long-term cycle pivot, Jupiter Saturn crosses, whatever you want to call it. That was also juxtaposed with longer term cycles. And like remember a year or so ago, as we were warning about all the planetary relationships and how there was like 6 of them all happening in this one time frame. So this is like the perfect storm. Well, think of like Brian's like 35-year generational cycles also corresponding perfectly with like those 80-year interest rate cycles. And Kevin was even referencing this. He was shocked at how many different, whether it be demographic or monetary or socioeconomic or whatever, technology, I suppose there's cycles involved there, Moore's law, all that kind of stuff. How they're all coming to junction all right here at the same moment. And man, is it intense, eh? So try and keep your head on straight. I would strongly, strongly suggest that now is not the time to do things like pick fights with governments. Governments now, in my opinion, we're actually going to probably the next, maybe even next good 5 years or so. I think we're going to be living in sort of, what they call command economy economics. I was, if we talk about money cycles, I was pondering with Kevin there a few minutes ago about how this year, 2021, it actually is shockingly similar to 1941. And unfortunately, the sort of crisis du jour then, global war, we didn't hit the high water mark of that cycle until 1942, sort of about halfway through that. Then you could start to see the sort of the light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing. So if we go back another 80-year cycle, well, it was that would be 1861. Same thing. Nasty U.S. Civil War. Didn't see the sort of light at the end of the tunnel until about halfway through 1862. And let's go back another 80 years. So then we go back to 1781. Now, this one's interesting because Kevin, being an American, he, of course, knew his history backwards. And he was like, well, that was the Battle of Yorktown, which is fascinating because through that period, I wanted to show you, I guess I got rid of the page. Oh, well. That was a really significant tipping point. And really, it wasn't until, he crossed the Potomac and all that kind of stuff, Washington, and they didn't really see the light at the end of the tunnel until well into 1783, 1784 kind of idea. So where am I going with all this? I don't know whether we can actually sort of even start to think about we're outside this crisis yet. We're still very much, in my opinion, right in the middle of this health crisis. And what I'm worried about, like David was telling me this morning, he's from let's call it the South US. And he was saying, people are just going out and they're not doing the sort of social distancing stuff anymore. Yes, they're still wearing masks in public, but, I've often believed that most of the viruses that you pick up are through your hands. So how ironic, you can touch stuff that has virus on it, then maybe rub your eyes or something. You can be wearing a big old mask across your mouth and your nose, and it doesn't make any difference. Anyway, that's here nor there. Point being that I don't think we're through this crisis yet by a long shot. I'm worried that equity prices and asset prices have been bid up so much the public itself is saying this is getting ridiculous. Are we in inflation? What should we do? And the higher ups that are trying to sort of keep control of this situation have been like, no, 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 there's no inflation, no inflation. There's two old men who basically own about 10-15% of the United States of America standing up on stage over the weekend going, oh, Jesus, did you see the price of lumber? Holy, well, we're raising our prices. No way we're going to stomach this. So we're going to pass it right on to the consumer. Oh, yeah, I guess there is inflation. Now, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the bankers, seeing that even the moneyed class are seeing this brutal inflation, are now coming out and saying, well, you know what? Maybe we are going to have to tighten things up because maybe there is some inflation. Oh, Jesus. I mean, it never ends. Try and understand, people. Please get this message. The Fed always acts behind the curve. They are always late. I would often say that they do it on purpose. They're bankers. They want the public to buy up top. They're going to be buying down below. I mean, that's the way they work. They bid the market up as much as they possibly can, and they'll keep talking the bull case to just keep getting those prices higher. The public keep buying higher, feeling better, and then they'll pull the rug out from underneath them. That's the way bankers work. So, put it all together, I'm a little worried that, and you Bitcoiners, you hate when I say this, but come on. I mean, this asset was $3,000 just 1 year ago. Can this insane orgy just keep going and going and going endlessly? I don't think so. The only problem is when you try and talk sort of rational sense to the public, and in these kind of environments where the federal governors, basically the people trying to keep control of the situation, are like, look at, we're not going to foreclose, we're not going to bust your ass, we're not going to do anything, just get through the sickness. And then what do the public do? They go and bid up the prices of these assets to insane levels. And I think that this is helped along by institutional players. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're as culpable as anybody else. They are the public in a weird sort of way, especially if you're thinking like, government versus public. Every hedge fund manager is part of the public. Anyway, that's an aside. Be careful with your money. Buy them when they're crying, sell them when they're yelling. You come in, you buy Bitcoins up here thinking you're taking a nice, easy, low-risk investment. Well, I'll just leave it at that. For whatever it's worth, actually, I did sell some Bitcoin up top when I sold some Doge recently, and I put those buy orders back in at about like 20, 30 Gs. I don't expect them to get filled right away. There's no hurry there. In fact, actually, when we were going through the daily brief today, into this U.S. tax deadline, I still like the idea of the market working its way down into this apex here. And that's around this sort of 40,000. Maybe we dip below 40 Gs. Mountain Man sitting there at 41. 38.2 off of this range, although we should adjust that considering we did make a higher high. But is there any way in heck that's going to actually pick that study? Probably no way in heck. Anyway, so we'll go up there. And I'm going to have to adjust the low. Interesting. Look how that's lining up with Mountain Man as well. So obviously that's a pretty important level. But that was off of that. Oh, geez. I hate doing this while I'm doing these videos. Very unprofessional, sort of half-assing my way through this. Yeah, it's this one we have to adjust. Anyway, where are you? This. That's that bubble. Let's see. Is it going to pick that one? Nope. See, it'll pick every single one but the one I want. Drives you crazy. Let's try that again. No, well, screw it. Anyway, point of the matter here, and this is supposed to be a quick summary video, so I'm totally wasting everybody's time. Kiran and Daniele did a really awesome presentation in the daily brief today, so actually I got kind of a free ride, so that's why I'm talking so much with you guys here. Anyway, point of the matter here is about a week or two ago, We did a video on the weekend, and I had sort of suggested I like the dip into this level here. Thought it would come through sort of a Tuesday, Wednesday kill zone. It turns out they did it just after I finished the video. I put out tweets like, holy Jesus, I can't believe they did with this. So because this is a V bottom, it is a new low, we should go down and test that low. We should. Wicks and tails like to be eaten. There's no reason why that shouldn't happen. Now, this might be something like we come down and into this wick, just visit there briefly, and whoever it was that was interested in this level, they're just like, get your ass out of there. But still think this is a level that needs to be tested. This was kind of a frozen out trade. I'd sort of talked to you guys in the public and even TRI people that they made this counter trend rally difficult as sin. V bottom. Look at these V tops, right? No structure here at all. V bottom, V top. I mean, sort of an M there, but it came in at a really weird level. So I wasn't really interested. I didn't even pay attention to it, to be honest with you. And put in this little W, ramped it up to new highs. And I was telling the people on the site today, that was a nasty, nasty bear div. Bang, 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 bang. See you later. So on this failure right here, I've talked to you guys in the public about using RSI. I mean, I don't know whether you want to short that, but at the very least, right, we should paint this as teal. Something along those lines. And at the very least, right, on this event right here, breaking through this structural level, if you were a bull, you better cool your jets. And sure enough, boosh, down into lower lows here. And now, like I said before, I don't know whether this is the first or the second M. You know, M's regardless, we don't like to see them. So momentum is pointing down. But this might be like the noob push, this here to here, which I like to color purple. And usually this is a trap. So I don't know whether that's a trap or not. But one thing Danielle or Kiran pointed out today was if this still is a bull, then this low has to hold, right? Because this was the last structural sort of breakout level. You can also see the downtrend line off of the top. It's right in this area as well. Remember I talked to you guys about the claw. This is still open down here. So this is dangerous. I mean, for heaven's sakes, no buy signals here whatsoever. The question ultimately is, are you short and how aggressive are you shorting this? And I thought it was interesting too that Kiran sort of mentioned he's a sort of listen to the market message and then react and of course trade according to what sort of structurally happened recently. Since we structurally lost these levels, his bullish enthusiasm was waned, and then when we put in this new bearish structure, this level right here actually has to be taken out right there before he can actually start getting bullish again, which I kind of like. You know, it's not bad thinking. Why? Well, you can see that this is really, it's what they call a dirty top. It's ugly. But that's a double top failure there. So, like I said, with that purple line on RSI, you might find that this move down here is a bit of a trap against these lows. We counter trend rally, and he's saying, I'm going to be watching really closely how price behaves through here. Super, super important level. So keep your eyes peeled. You know, if they just keep puking out, I think we're probably going to see some support against that low in this trend line here. So that's, what is that? That's about 52, we'll call it, in the short term. And if you are really a bull and you're thinking this is a bull move, these lows have to hold. And if they don't, then really we're in trouble. You might even find that this actually punches down into here, confirms the failure. Then we get our counter trend rally and the market does something like that. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So it's a tough backdrop. I think I didn't really articulate it very well, but I kind of said, so what are sort of some of the themes that we see in the marketplace? You know, May 15th, we have a big tax payment deadline. That's money coming out of the market. It could be coming out of houses, bitcoins, stocks, whatever. Money's got to come out of the system and get into Uncle Sam's hands. We have the U.S. Secretary of Treasury right now saying, well, if these inflationary pressures continue, and now they are admitting that they have inflation in the system, well, maybe we're going to have to start raising interest rates, raise the cost of borrowing. What? I thought you said interest rates were going to be at zero forever. Didn't they just say a little while ago that interest rates were going to be like at zero until like 2023, 2024? So it just goes to show, don't listen to these feds for market direction and what to expect going forward. I don't know why our society is so in love with Powell. The Fed is terrible market predictor. Did they predict that the market was going to go straight up to new highs after they came in and fired their bazookas last year? No, but that's exactly what happened. So, don't listen to the Fed for guidance. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. What I would say through this, and I thought this was really interesting, David O mentioned this morning, was I don't know where you want to start drawing it, but there's an interesting megaphone that developed here. I don't know whether you can see. This is a 4 hour, so it's probably like off more of like the 1 hour. People are just trying to see where price is moving. So I did find it interesting. Remember I said maybe this is a purple line on RSI kind of breakdown here. We're very late in the move off of the 1 hours. We actually went oversold there. But if we think things like megaphone, 1 tag, 2 tags, 3 tags, well, that means that move is done. And if we think top of megaphone, then really what we have to think, and you're going to love this, the bulls will love this, is we actually probably need to trade right back up into these areas. So crazy market, driving nuts, up and down like a horse drawers. If I understand correctly, we've got a big social media event coming up here in the next few days with Mr. Musk. Is it Musk? I think that's his name. Musk, M-U-S-K. I always seem to mispronounce his name. But anyway, appearing on sort of social platforms. The sad part about that is, just because a guy appears on a big sort of popular network television show, that doesn't mean the asset's a good buy. If anything, the asset is a goodbye. So be careful there, please. And I was telling the community today, I was sitting in on, just for fun, just going and sitting in and listening to what this sort of the public is being spoon fed. And of course, now with YouTube, it's remarkable how many financial experts there are out there. I mean, they're everywhere. And I think I told you before that I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this. You guys, well, Brian, why would I listen to you? Just diamond hands, right? So I listened to some guy talking about Doge and talking about diamond hands. And that makes perfect sense. It makes absolutely perfect sense. Question is, where's the best place to show you this? Can you imagine? I mean, there were people, but somebody went and just bought that level there. Do they have it? I mean, let's put this on a log scale just to show you how insane this is. Do they have any idea where this asset has come from? I mean, where was the bottom? Looks to me like the bottom is basically about, what is that, a nickel? Ironically enough, actually, usually these things like to go about 100x off of the bottom. So I guess 10x would be 50 cents. Does that say, God, I'm so old, I can't even read that. Does that say 0.00 or just 0.0? I think it's 0.00. So actually that's 0.00. So 10x would be a nickel and 100x would be 50 cents. So actually, ironically enough, that makes perfect sense. 50 cents into that level, into his big social media event. And of course, diamond hands. Public's going to come in here and buy. I mean, you hope for the public's sake that the coming correction looks like that, or it looks like that. And if this is the end, I mean, fuck, we could have to do that. You don't know. But oh my goodness, the amount of risk here is insane. And the public just doesn't understand what they're getting involved in here. So sad. If we probably draw a trend like boo bada boo, that's actually probably what's going to happen over the long term. And that's actually even off of here. That's not even the bottom. I mean, the bottom's all the way over here, isn't it? There's the bottom, way over there. So actually, it'd be interesting to draw a trend line just off of boop, boop. Notice, actually, I like that. It's very rough, but notice we kind of respected it through there. So probably down the road, that's probably a recheck of that level. What is that? So, does the public really appreciate what the hell they're getting involved in here? I doubt it. But hey, what the hell? Doge Army, Doge money, dog money, whatever. As long as the thing keeps making higher highs and higher lows, what do they care, right? Their accounts are going up. And of course, they're going to be calling themselves crypto OGs. For whatever it's worth, this whole diamond hands expression, I've been involved in crypto for 7, 8 years now. Never heard that expression before this most recent rally off the lows. So that's got to be a relatively new expression. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I've been in this space a long time. I never heard that expression in like 2018, 2019. So I do find it interesting that I went on some of these channels and they're like, and probably the chat is totally set up, but somebody types in the chat, oh, what's diamond hands? Should I be a diamond hands on Doge? And of course, everybody in the community goes, I'm a diamond hands. And yeah, we're all diamond hands. Join the party. So, anyway, typical capitalism. It's such a beautiful analogy of capitalism. For whatever it's worth, my diamond hand bag is now about 100, 150. So, what the hell? We'll see what happens here. And I've said that I will officially change my name to Sedona Euphoria. Love it. If Doge can close, and I will sell on a move above $2. That was the official call. I don't think there's a rat's chance in hell that this thing is going to close above this level, but so what? like that matters at all. Take it above $2. Like I said, that'll give me enough money to go buy Liam a house. I'll go change my name in one form or another. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'll do it just for fun to Sedona Euphoria. And maybe we'll even name the house Sedona Euphoria. And we'll take a picture and maybe make an NFT out of it or something for posterity. Anyway, if anything, Doge and Doge economics right now, which is nonsense, it's carrying the day in this crazy fugazi hyperinflation, sickness-driven bureaucrats don't really know what the hell's going to happen, haven't got a clue, and have just said, look, you have all the money you want. It doesn't matter. That's the type of environment that we're in right now. So Doge go to $5. Great. I can buy 2 houses for Liam, and I'll call myself Sedona Euphoria Squared. Who knows? Point of the matter here is that's the market state that we're in. And I don't know where the hell they're going to take this thing into his next big event here on Saturday. But I will say probably not in your best interest to step in front of this. Somebody's got an agenda here, right? They've got like Snoop Dogg. They've got Gene Simmons. I'm sure they've got a bunch of corporations and stuff. Probably a big shill. I noticed that one of the principals that got involved in Dogen originally, she actually left the project because she was disgusted at what they were doing. So clearly the capitalists have taken over. Where the hell's the top? I don't know. Is Brian going to have to change his name? I hope so, because then that means Liam gets his house. So, Jojo, do you want to refer to me as Sedona? Sedona, something like that. Going forward, in my prayers to you, make it happen. Actually, it's kind of funny how good old Litecoin, good old Charlie said that by his birthday, this coming October, I think it is, that Litecoin would see new all-time highs. So that's not too far away for him now. And believe it or not, there are other coins that, basically the same thing. This waves. I talked to you guys about this before. I remember as this thing was breaking out, I was saying there's no way in hell this bull market is done. And sure enough, kaboom. I'm sure Kevin, what are you going to change your name to if waves goes to $1,000 a coin?
Huh, that's a good one. I don't know. You got any ideas?
I don't know.
It has to be Russian.
Right. We'll call you Nastasia. No, Natasha.
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Natasha.
There you go. Anastasia.
Hell, I'll do it. If Waves gets to 1,000, sure. Whatever you guys want to name me is fine.
So,
I shouldn't say whatever you guys want to name me. I'm asking for trouble there.
yeah. No, Anastasia. At all call, I'll say that my co-host is officially Anastasia now. Perfect. Love it. Love it. I mean, try and have fun with this, people. Hopefully you can hear that in my voice. Have fun with this. If you get too wrapped up in the bullshit of this capitalism, then they have won. They want you to act emotionally. They want you to act irrationally. They want you to chase. They want you to FOMO. They want you to wreck. Don't get sucked up in that game. Play from a position of strength. Don't take too much risk on any bet. Don't get greedy. Pay yourself when your idea works. You completely avoid all the nonsense, and you probably force yourself and come in and buy an asset down here, not here. So, not really too much new, guys. My apologies if this was a little bit ranty. I'm concerned. I don't want people to take too much risk until we get beyond this May-June correction window. We do have a TRI SOF meeting coming up tonight, so we might have some interesting new ideas to throw at you in the daily brief recaps coming forward. I guess going forward. But on balance, I'm very leery about buying much, and if anything, as you can see on this screen, I mean, I might even get stopped out on a few trades that I strapped on here recently. And it's interesting how this SPAC just will not go down, eh? Jesus, look at that W. Key reversal, W. How ironic. Where they're throwing the baby out with the bathwater with the entire market except for this thing. That makes sense. So, go slowly. Pay your taxes. And you can see a lot of people in the marketplace. They're selling to pay those taxes. If you want, and like I said, David O might have an idea or two for us to chew on. You might want to take a look at some Bear ETF trades through this. If you just wanted to look at this period as I actually want to buy, I've got a bunch of cash on the sidelines. Pick your names, draw your reload zones, wait for price to come down into them, maybe hunt for bullish divs, W's in price, and then we can start the game. Until that happens, you can dabble in the bear ETFs. It's a tricky game, don't get me wrong. But until the bottoms actually do start coming in and the charts start looking like this, I'd be very, very leery. And especially what you really want is you want this chart to look like that. And it actually looks the exact opposite, doesn't it? Ugh, 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 ugh. So maybe just leave this stock market alone for a little while. Right? Okay, I think I'm going to leave the rant at that. PMA for the win. Slow and steady wins the race. Don't take no wooden nickels. Go slowly here, people. If you are sitting on big winners, it never hurts to pay yourself a little bit. Don't have to sell it all. And of course, like I said, for your Americans, make sure to pay those taxes that are due in about a week or two. Okay, have yourselves a great day, everybody. All the best. Rant is officially over. Take us on out of here if you could, Kevin. The only thing left for Brian to say is bye for now.